We are back. Hello. Baby has been fed. As you can hear, she's very grumbly about it, but somehow still asleep. She's like sleepy grumbly about it. Welcome back, welcome back. Hello, hello. I'll give everybody a second to jump back on, and then we will continue on our journey through witchcraft and wizardry. It's not true. It's just witchcraft and suffragery. Thank you, Jess. I got nothing. Anybody have one? Got a line for this? Journey through witchcraft and there's nothing. What could go there? Huh. I don't know. I can't think of something. I was going through your archives and you had a video. Oh, it's true. It's true. He also made sleepy noises. It's true.
Who did?
Anya was saying she found she was like going through old slime videos, and there's one of me holding Ethan while I was making slime, and you can just hear him in the background. You can't see him, but you just hear the baby sleepy noises in the background of the video.
Aww.
He's a very cute little boy. He makes very cute little sounds. He can't wait to play with his cousin.
That's true.
Yes. And she can't wait to play with him. She's very excited. Yes. She wants to be a part of the cousin tribe. She wants to crawl and play, and baby noises are the best. I agree. I agree. All right, let us continue our journey through whatever we're going to call this. I couldn't come up with a tagline for it, but we'll just pretend I came up with a rip-roaring tagline for this. He draws so close that she can smell the fresh moonlight on his suit and feel the heat of his hound's breath against her bare skin. What's the matter, sweet girl? What's wrong? What's wrong? Do we want mommy to hold us?
Yeah, I'll take her to the rocking chair.
Yeah? Okay. If you need me to hold her, I can.
Her eyes are still closed.
Yeah, she's sleeping. She's
just-
out.
I'm not happy with it.
Maybe she needs to be burped.
Oh, yeah, I'll burp her in the chair. Take a burp right there.
It's up to you. Wherever you want to do it. He can feel she can smell the fresh moonlight on his suit and feel the heat of his hound's breath against her bare skin. That's right. That's right. She's testing all of us. That's right. She's testing our skills. She's like, will you remember what I need at any given moment? He smiles down at her. It isn't the craven, cringing smile she remembers from the Women's Association, or even the hearty false one that beams from 1,000 campaign posters. This is the smile, all canine and red-gummed. It seems to be stolen from someone else entirely. Juniper would very much like to know who. You girls have done very well. Juniper wants to write the word girls on a ribbon and strangle him with it. You chose nice, visible subjects ideal for stirring up a fuss. It'll cost the city a considerable sum to replace that statue of St. George, by the way. Juniper doesn't think she's ever cared less about anything. She watches him through narrowed eyes, wary as a cat. He shrugs at her silence. But I can't say I'm sorry, honestly. It was a terrible likeness. But what I want to know is I'm not telling you a thing. Oh, where did that voice come from? That is not Juniper's voice, you guys. She is not Southern. Yeah, I'm not telling you a single name, so why don't you save yourself some time and slither on home? Hill flicks a disinterested finger. The gesture has more authority than Juniper thought Hill had in his entire body. I'm not interested in names. Your friends are far more useful to me playing witch and putting the fear of God in the common folk. If I wanted them locked up with you, they would be locked up with you. Juniper's fingernails cut crescents into her palms. Yeah, did you know about the graveyard then? Who blabbed? Hill makes a soft, pitying sound. No one, James. He holds a hand in front of his lantern, and it casts 5-fingered shadow against the scummy-edged water between them, perfectly ordinary until the edges ripple outward. The fingertips lengthen like claws, or like roots. His dog whines at his heels, and he gives her a sharp, vicious kick. Oh, someone who kicks dogs. I already didn't like this guy, but now I really don't like him. Juniper stares at the shadow with rising queasy sense that she's got it all terribly wrong. There is, indeed, a witch running loose in New Salem, the kind who deals in shadows and sin in ways and words so wicked that even Mama Mags wouldn't have touched them with a 10-foot pole. But it sure as hell is not Miss Grace Wiggin. It's the man standing with her in the prison cell, smiling his not-quite-right smile, looking nothing at all like the stoop-shouldered bureaucrat Juniper met in the beginning of summer. His hair is still thinning, and his eyes are still pink-rimmed and too wet, but it's like his body is a house with a new owner. Everything is subtly rearranged. His limbs are moving differently in their sockets, and his muscles are pinned differently to his bones. The only thing that remains unchanged is the furtive flick of his eyes. Hill smiles at her again, flexing the fingers of his shadowed hand. Everything casts a shadow, Miss Eastwood, and every shadow is mine. There are no secrets in this city. His hand remains still, his fingers splayed, but its shadow twines itself into a shape that Juniper recognizes. 3 circles interwoven. The lines are uneven, interrupted by bulges that might be the heads of snakes as they swallow their own tails. The signature you left at your greatest works, I do believe. His voice is softer now. Not many people know it these days, so tell me, where did you find it? Juniper gives him the sullen shrug that she used to drive her daddy to drink. I thought, why do I keep doing that? Why does Juniper keep coming out southern? She's not southern, you guys. She lives in Massachusetts. Yeah, I thought you knew everything. Oh, there are certain warded places, certain materials that I couldn't... Well, I'm a busy man. Oh, no, it didn't at all, Sloth. Literally, don't even stress. Literally did not. I think the same thing all the time.
What?
That she's testing our skills. She said she didn't mean the comment to sound mean. She thinks we're amazing parents. I think she is testing us sometimes. I did not take that poorly, Sloth. Don't worry.
Like you could be a diagnostician with her.
Yes. We did not take that badly. Don't even worry.
Diaper? Do we need burp? Are we farty? You know?
That's right. We are not. We have no pretense that we know everything by any stretch of the imagination. I think any parent who goes into this thinking they've got it on lock, those are the ones who are going to have a rough go of it.
Are you tired? Are you uncomfortable?
Could be 3 out of 5.
Are you just mad at us right now?
Why? Don't be mad at me. I love you so much. Please don't be mad at me. I
you
couldn't
think
take
jokes
it.
are dominant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. She does sometimes roll her eyes at me, and I'm like, harsh, kid. You're so young. You really want to roll your eyes at me already? It's funny that. There are certain warded places, certain materials that I couldn't... I don't know. I'm a busy man. I can't watch everything. Salt to keep things out, she thinks and grins at him. Yeah, I guess there's one secret in this city then, eh? Did someone teach it to you? Was it written somewhere? The furtive thing in his eyes is writhing right beneath the surface, a grub beneath the soil. What have you found? You know, maybe we found an ancient scroll. Maybe a fairy told it to us. Maybe we're the secret great-great-granddaughters of the last 3 themselves. The flesh of his face goes taut, the 6 smiles stretching into a grimace. The 3 died screaming along with their daughters, so tell me the truth, you child. Juniper leans forward and spits into the water between them. It lands with a satisfying splatter of scum and snot. He dabs at his pant leg, sighing a little. Juniper doesn't see the shadow until it seizes her. His shadowed hand oozes up her leg like a liquid spider. She swears and scrubs at it, but her fingers pass through it as if it isn't even there. It scuttles up her belly and across her chest, wrapping cold fingers around her throat. Dull heat gathers at her collar, mounting as the shadowed hand tightens. Hill watches her gasp and claw at her throat. Clever thing, these collars. They dampen magic, but they don't actually prevent its presence. They merely react to it. An invention of St. Glenwald Hale in the 1600s. St. Hale's, where Bella went to school. Her blisters hiss and pop against the hot metal. A scream gathers in her throat, but she meets Hill's eyes, clamps her jaw against it. He gives her another short sigh, as if this is all rather tiresome and distasteful, and Juniper feels the oily creep of his shadow climb higher. It moves up her neck and slides chilled fingers between her lips, prying apart her teeth and oozing like oil down her throat until she gags. For the last time, girl, where did you see the sign? And what else have you found? The shadow slides deeper, questing and clawing, and she feels words pulled from her, rising like vomit in her throat. We saw it on the tower door. On Albin Ilir? Juniper stares up at him, bewildered, gagging on the shadow, and he amends. The Equinox! Was at the tower on the Equinox! Yes! The word is stolen from her, pulled out between reluctant teeth. You and your sisters are the ones who called it, were you not? Yes. And you've been trying to find necessary means to make a second attempt? Yes. And have you succeeded? Juniper hears the shift in his voice, catches the pale grub of fear in his eyes, and understands that this question is one that he wants the answer to more than any other, the real reason that she's locked in the deeps with the shadowed hand between her teeth. She fights as the confession is dragged out of her. She feels the edges of the words slicing the soft meat of her throat. It leaves her lip with a sputter of blood. No. She can almost see the tension unwind from Hill's frame. The shadow retreats, coiling like a snake from her mouth, leaving Juniper to retch helplessly into the water below. It's not just the black taste of the shadow in her mouth, it's the invasion of it, the queasy betrayal of her own body. Even on his worst day, her daddy could only touch the flesh and blood of her. Her will remained her own. Somewhere above her, Hill is straightening his cuffs, wrapping his dog's leash neatly around his palm. So I suspected, but some of your spells have been substantial, and I wonder if somehow... But no. She feels his hand on her cheek, chill and damp, and lacks the energy to spin and bite it. Thank you, Miss Eastwood. You've been quite good at putting my mind at ease. He wades back to the cell door with his dog, picking her way delicately behind him. They pass like ghosts through the iron. What are you? Juniper wishes her voice didn't shake as she spoke, that there wasn't acid, sick drying on her shift. The warm glow of his lantern is already spiraling back up the steps, and he calls back to her. Merely a man, Miss Eastwood, and perhaps if you and your sisters keep stirring up trouble, I'll be a mayor. We'll see in November. Juniper curls herself around the center of the iron bed frame, trying to tuck her bare flesh away from the shadows. She dreams herself home again, but this time she's running endlessly down the ruttered clay drive, calling after her sisters, and they do not answer. Agnes is not dreaming. She's awake, pacing again when she hears the second knock on the door. She already knows who it is. She felt her sister coming near through the line between them like the fish reeled into the shore, and only Bella is capable of tapping quite that timidly at a door. But when she opens the door, she finds two women standing in the hall. Bella, accompanied by the woman she insists on referring to as Miss Quinn, although the sisters, or at least the rest of them, have called her Cleo for weeks now. Cleo hurries across the threshold as if she doesn't like to be out in the open, and Bella follows after her, sliding the lock behind them. It's the middle of the night, Agnes observes, and she adds, half against her will, I heard the police were hassling women who walk the streets at night. Bella waves this concern away. Oh, we weren't on the streets. We were in something of a hurry, so we were taking the earliest train north in the morning, and we need to give this to you before we depart. She withdraws a glass vial from her sleeve and extends it to Agnes. Agnes does not take it. She can see 3 droplets clinging to the glass, clear as water. What is this? Crohn's tears. You need to provide mother's milk, of course, and find some way to get a drop or 2 of Juniper's blood. We really ought to be together to conduct the ritual, but we'll have to, to hope that the Lost Way of Avalon isn't too particular about the details. It's only then that Agnes understands what her sister intends to do. What madness has come knocking on her door in the middle of the night? Yeah, I thought we didn't have the words. Cleo shrugs rather casually. Well, your sister and I are going on a research expedition. Bella nods briskly. May we count on you to be ready the evening of the solstice? Agnes considers this for a long moment. Her daughter is very still inside her, as if she, too, is waiting for an answer. No. Bella tisks at her. All right, well, whatever you have planned, surely you can skip it. This is worth missing a shift for. No, Agnes says, and she finds her eyes sliding away from Bella as she says it. I meant it. You may not count on me. She hears Cleo gasp, but not Bella. Perhaps she isn't all that surprised that Agnes would disappoint her. This is our baby sister we're talking about, she says softly. And do you know what our baby sister did? What she is? Agnes read the article beneath Juniper's bloodied face. She understood why Juniper ran away from the only place she ever loved. Yes? Bella's watching her with those steady storm cloud eyes. We're all what we have to be, just to stay alive. We're cowards, we're traitors. The eyes flash lightning behind the clouds. Even villains sometimes. Surely you can't hate her for it. Agnes looks away again. No. Agnes, she needs us. Oh, don't pretend this is about anything but you and your books and your cleverness. You just want to be right, to snap your fingers and see one of your precious stories come to life. She fires the words like arrows by the stricken chill of Bella's face. She knows that they were well aimed. Oh, the baby is being held by her daddy. Yes, she's sleeping on him. Bella spins on her heels and strides to the cracked mirror hanging in its frame, and she whispers to it. Mirror, mirror on the wall, tell the truth, reveal all. A rhyme that Agnes knows well, stolen from her favorite witch tale as a girl. She rubs something across the surface, and Agnes thinks it might be the lock of hair the color of crow's feathers. Heat in the air, the wild smell of witching, and then Beatrice removes the mirror from its nail and brings it to Agnes. Just a little spell I learned from a story. She sneers and tilts the surface so that Agnes can see the image inside it. It should be the ceiling of South Sybil, sagging, plastered, brownish stains, spreading like a map to a foreign country, but no, it isn't. It's a woman's body doubled along the fractures of the mirror, lying pale and still as bone. Her eyes are closed, the lids bluish, translucent, like the eyes of a cave creature. She's nearly naked, bruised and blooming darkly through her tattered shift. Her left foot is twisted around with pale scars. A collar is clamped tightly around her neck, and the skin beneath it is the color of uncooked meat. Agnes prefers the Juniper that grins up from the post, all teeth and defiance. This Juniper that they see here is just a girl, young and fragile and half broken. Bella's breath mists the surface. I know you've always chosen your own hide over ours. I know you've never cared much what happens to us, but... I always cared, Belle. Always. Agnes swallows the salt of promise of tears in her throat. It hardens her voice. But it never fucking mattered that I cared. I couldn't stop him. I couldn't protect you. I couldn't even protect myself. The tears threaten again, and Agnes breaks off. There's a pause, and after it, Bella's voice has softened very slightly. Well, maybe this time we can make it better. Miss Quinn and I will find the words. Juniper's always had will to spare, and we need you to gather the ways. Will you please do it? Agnes doesn't want Bella to speak softly to her. She wants that bitter coal burning hot between them, because once it cools, she'll have nothing left but terrible guilt. She hasn't wanted to betray her, to spill Bella's secrets to their daddy, but surviving always comes at a cost. Agnes looks again at the girl in the mirror, her eyes tracing the dark bluish bruises, the shine of old scars, and Juniper's lips move in her sleep. Don't leave me, they seem to whisper, and Agnes feels the taut scab of her sister's blood dried onto her palm, so she closes her eyes and says, yes. Bella gives her a cool nod and sets the mirror on the table. All right, wait for my sign. Yeah, but then I'm through. After we save her, I'm done with witching and women's rights and all the rest. She rests her palm on the full moon of her belly. The cost is just too high. Fine. Bella's lips curl into a very slight smile before she turns away. It's funny. Mama always said you were the strong one. She unbolts the door and steps back into the deeper dark of the hall, and Cleo moves to follow her, and Agnes reaches for her sleeve. Yeah, where are you going anyway? To look for the words? Why, the last place we knew for sure the words were spoken. Cleo removes her sleeve from Agnes's hand, her lips curling. We're going to Old Salem. Dun, dun, dun. We've not been to Old Salem in this book yet, so that'll be exciting. Oh, the baby's very good. Thank you. She had her 2-week checkup yesterday, and everything was fantastic. She gained 1.5 pounds.
They used the word perfect.
They did use the word perfect. It's true. She is perfect. Today she gets her newborn photos. We're very excited. Yes, yes. She's going to dress up like a princess. It's going to be very fun. First princess photos ever.
All of her photos are princess photos.
It's true. All of her photos are princess photos. She was born a princess. It is crazy how fast they grow. Yeah, they said that they expect them at this stage to grow like basically like an ounce a day, essentially. We are loving it. Yes, we can't get enough of her. Sometimes we just sit there and stare at her. It's silly, but it's wonderful. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right, I will see you all tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to Old Salem, it seems. Or at least that's what it sounds like from the end of this chapter. I don't know. I know, Jen. It's going to be very exciting. Yeah, if anyone hasn't seen the photos that our photographer takes, I highly recommend checking out her page. I linked it in my last post. Her work is absolutely stunning. So you should definitely check out what she does. And if any of you are, looking for someone to do cool photos for your kids, she goes back and forth between here and Orlando. She does both of the Disney locations. So, all right, I'll see you all later. Bye, guys.